Hello, Texas. We are in my favorite season of the year. I am Rose Clouston. I am the Voter Protection Director at the Texas Democratic Party. And early voting starts tomorrow. On October 24th is the first day that we in Texas can start going to vote in person for Beto O'Rourke for governor, Mike Collier for lieutenant governor, and all of our amazing candidates up and down the ballot, including Rochelle Garza for attorney general, on down to our judicial candidates and county commission candidates. I am so excited to cast my ballot and want to make sure that all of you are able to cast yours too without any problems and as smooth sailing as possible. So let's talk about voting. You can feel free to drop your questions in the comments, and my colleagues are going to let me know what they are, and we'll get to all of your questions. But let's start first things first. Early voting opens tomorrow, Monday, October 24th, and runs through Friday, November 4th. And during early voting, you can vote at any polling place in your county. So if you are driving to work and you see a place with all the voting signs, vote here, you can stop there and you can vote during early voting. You are across town at your friend's house and driving to the grocery store from there or something, you can stop there and vote as long as it is in the county that you're registered to vote in. But hours can vary by county, but also within your county by polling place. So I'd encourage you to check out mytexasvotes.com. Again, that's mytexasvotes.com. And you can find out all of the early voting locations that you can vote at and what their hours are. So check that out and then get ready to vote. The other thing that you need to do when you're getting ready to vote is make sure that you bring a photo ID if you have one. A Texas driver's license, DPS issued Texas personal ID card, or a passport are some of the top 3 things that people use, but there's some other IDs that you can use. And if you don't have one of those, then you can give us a call at 844-TX-VOTES. Again, that's 844-TX-VOTES, because you can still vote. If you do not have one of those approved government-issued photo IDs, you can still vote and your vote will still be counted. Give us a call. We will talk you through that process and make sure that you are still able to cast your ballot. So I see from Bridget wants to know if she can vote with her passport. Yes, you can vote with a U.S. passport and show that to the poll worker when you arrive, and they will get you checked in, no problem whatsoever. Sabrina asks if she can vote on Saturday. So in many places in Texas, you are able to vote on Saturday, which I believe is October 29th. Many of you will be able to vote. However, some of our smaller counties are not required to have voting on Saturday, so it varies county to county. Again, the key here, check mytexasvotes.com to find out where in your county and you can vote and what the days and the hours that they're open are. That's mytexasvotes.com. And John asks how to find where to vote. Again, mytexasvotes.com. I promise I'm not a broken record, but we have all of the polling places that you can vote at there. And there's going to be some different places, probably additional places that you can vote at on election day. Now, I know that I've been stressing that you can vote anywhere in your county during early voting. And in many of our counties, like Harris, Dallas, Bear, Tarrant, Travis, Hidalgo, Webb now. Webb allows you to vote anywhere on election day too. But some other counties, you have to go to a specific place based on where you live. So you can find that all out at mytexasvotes.com. When you go and you are looking at November 8th that you want to vote on election day, if you have to vote at a specific place, we'll only give you that one option. If you can vote anywhere in your county, we'll show you multiple options and you can scroll through those. There's something else about voting on election day. Oh, all polls are open 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. on election day. So everywhere in Texas, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. local time. So folks in El Paso get to start voting an hour later than the rest of us and end voting an hour later because they're on Mountain Time. Julie asks, I got my mail ballot, but I changed my mind and I want to vote in person. What do I do? This is so common. We got you. So Julie, you'll just take that mail ballot that you got in the mail and go into any early voting site or your election day polling place and you'll give them that ballot, and you'll fill out a form saying, nope, I don't want to vote my mail ballot. I've returned it to the election worker, and then you can cast a ballot like normal. If you don't have your mail ballot, maybe it got lost in the mail, never arrived, you can do that as well. You can go to the polling place, fill out a form saying you want to cancel your mail ballot, and then they will let you vote right there. If you don't have that ballot, you'll have to vote a provisional ballot, which just means that they're going to put it aside and they're going to count it later because they have to make sure that you didn't also vote by mail because they can't count 2 ballots for you. That's not how democracy works. One person, one vote. So no problem either way. Just go, and you can go vote early or or on election day. But we're encouraging everyone to be an October voter. So please go vote early in October. Vote this week. You can vote starting tomorrow, Monday, October 24th. Drew asks, what if my status says suspense? Such a good question. So if you Google, am I registered to vote, Texas, and you go to the Texas Secretary of State's website, you'll see it has a .gov email or URL in it. There's some other places that it'll ask you to look to, but check that .gov. You say, am I registered? You fill in your information, and sometimes it'll say status suspense. All that means is that the elections office thinks that you may have moved. They probably sent you a piece of mail and it got returned to them, or maybe you had your address changed by USPS. If that's the case, but you still live at that same address, no problem. You just go vote in person, and you will fill out a piece of paper that says, yep, I still live there. I swear this is still my address. No problem. If you have moved, but you forgot to re-register and change your address by October 11th, then as long as you are registered to vote in Texas, there's still a way for you to vote. Let me say it again. If you are registered to vote in Texas, if you moved, you can still vote, but you got to vote during the early voting. The option for you to vote is only from October 24th to November 4th. And then, sorry, let me back up. I got a little overly excited by your options. If you moved within your county, you can still vote based on where you used to live. That's not true. I'm phrasing this poorly. All right. If you moved and you moved within your county, you can still vote at any early voting place in your county. If you moved and you're trying to vote on election day, give us a call at 844-TX-VOTES and we'll help you figure out where you should go vote. If you moved from one county in Texas to another, you can vote during early voting between October 24th and November 4th at the main early voting location in your county for all of our statewide offices. We can help you figure out where to go if you call us at 844-TX-VOTES, and you'll vote what's called a limited ballot. Those are some keywords. TLDR, if you're in that situation, you didn't re-register, call us at 844-TX-VOTES. But if your status just says suspense and you still live at that address that you're registered to vote at, no problem. Just go to your polling place. You'll fill out a little extra paperwork. No big deal. Cindy asks, can I vote in a different county than where I'm registered? No. The short answer is no. You have to vote where you're registered to vote and where you live. So if I maybe live in Travis County, but I work in Williamson County and I'm over there and it's getting late, I'm like, oh, can't I just vote here? No, you can't. But if you, like I was saying, if you moved from one county to another, then you should vote in the county that you currently live in through that process that I talked about with a limited ballot during early voting. If that is the case for you, call 844-TX-VOTES and we will talk you through all of that. And it gets into specifics based on your address and where you live and all of that sort of stuff. Robert asks, can a new resident with a California driver's license vote? Yes, you can still vote. If you are unable to get and do not possess a Texas driver's license, then you can vote what is called with a reasonable impediment declaration. You'll sign some paperwork that says, I do not have and I cannot reasonably get a Texas driver's license or one of these 7 approved IDs. And then you can fill that paperwork out and show your California driver's license and you're able to vote. However, if you can reasonably get that ID, or if you have one of those 7 approved IDs, like a passport or that sort of thing, then you need to bring one of those approved IDs. So if I forgot my driver's license at home, or I forgot my passport at home, but I have my California driver's license, then I need to bring my passport in, or I can vote a provisional ballot and then bring my passport or one of those other IDs to the elections office in the by Monday, November 14th. Rosa asks, when do they vote in Gainesville? So Rosa, I don't know exactly. You're going to have to check out mytexasvotes.com to find out the exact hours at the polling place in your community. Darcy asks, she has a mail ballot and wants to know, when is the last day she can mail in her ballot? So your mail ballot must be legally postmarked by 7 p.m. on election day, which is November 8th, and arrive in your elections office by 5 p.m. on November 9th in order to be counted. However, we strongly recommend that you get that ballot in the mail by November 1st, just to give it plenty of time to get where it needs to go, for them to process it, and for your vote to get counted, and to see all those numbers stack up for Beto and Mike and Rochelle. Cornelia asks, I think we're coming back to she lives in one place, but maybe is still registered in a prior residence. You should go to the main early voting location in the county that you currently live in, and you will ask for a limited ballot. For more information about that, please call us at 844-TX-VOTES, or you can text us at 888-844-VOTE. Or you can DM us on Instagram, Facebook, or on our My Texas Votes. We have a little chat helper, Val, the voting expert. You can ask Val any of your questions, and they can help you get any of those personal situations sorted based on the specifics of what's going on with you. Oh, Jamar, such a good question. Jamar is so excited to vote for Beto. He wants to wear his Beto t-shirt to the polls. Don't do it. I know you're excited. I know you want to vote for Beto, and you want Mike to fix the grid, and so hyped about all of our candidates. You cannot wear gear for a candidate that is on the ballot into the polling place. They're going to ask you to put on a jacket, turn it inside out. So the easiest thing to do is just don't wear it when you go vote. But the trick here, vote early in the next 2 weeks. And then on election day, sport your Beto gear all around town to make sure that anyone who hasn't voted yet remembers that they got to get to that polling place and vote for Beto. So don't wear your gear into the polling place, but do wear it before and after you vote out about the town to remind others. Oh, Susan, such a good question. She wants to know if she can look at notes on her phone when she votes. You cannot. You cannot use your phone inside the polling place. That is prohibited. So what you should do is write down on a piece of paper. I know, find it somewhere, back of an envelope, whatever it takes. You can write down your notes about who you're going to vote for on a piece of paper and bring that in, because you cannot use your phone inside the polling place. But to make it easy, just vote for everyone who has the DEM after their name, and that'll help simplify for a lot of the races. I know that doesn't help in those local city council races, but for most of them, hopefully that'll make it a little bit shorter, fewer notes to take. Dorothy asks, after I vote, is there anything else I can do to get involved? Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. Dorothy, we would love to have your help out block walking to encourage other people to vote, making phone calls, texting folks, whatever, all those different ways to encourage others to get out and vote. So the 2 big things that you can do, go to texasdemocrats.org and /events. And that'll take you to a lot of events in your area that you can get involved with. The other thing you can do is that you can download Connect Texas, which is our app. Just go to the App Store, either in Google Play or in an iPhone. Go to the App Store and download Connect Texas. This is an app that'll help you get in touch with your friends and family and help them get out to vote as well. Post to social media. There's a ton of actions every day that you can take from your phone in 2, 3, 5 minutes to help get out the vote. But we'll also take more time if you have more time. So download Connect Texas and go to texasdemocrats.org/events. Jean asks, do you need special credentials to be a poll captain? I'm not quite sure what a poll captain is, but if you are interested in being a poll watcher and helping to advocate for voters and make sure that every eligible voter is able to cast a ballot that counts, you can go to txdem.co/vopro, that's /VOPRO, and sign up with us to be a poll watcher. We would love to have your help making sure that everyone else in your community can cast their ballot. Again, that's txdem.co/VOPRO. No, not .com. That trips up a lot of people. We will have poll watchers out all around Texas tomorrow helping to support our voters and for the rest of early voting. So we would love to have you as one of them, Jean. Gigi asks if she can fill out her husband's mail ballot if he tells her who to vote for. So in certain circumstances where if your husband has a disability or an impairment that prevents him from being able to physically fill out his ballot, then you can fill out the assistant portion of the ballot, read that very carefully, and you would be able to do that for him. But you would have to complete some paperwork on the ballot indicating that you assisted him and attesting that you filled out the ballot exactly as he asked you to. In other circumstances, if your husband does not have a disability or some other reason or an injury or something like that that prevents him from filling out his own ballot, then no, you can't do that. He needs to fill it out for himself. So everyone should vote their own ballot and cast their ballot on their own in most cases. However, similarly to what Gigi asks, if you go to vote in person, if you have a disability, cannot read or write English, or have other types of communication where you can't speak English or you use an ASL interpreter normally, you can receive assistance at the polling place. You can bring a friend or a family member who can assist you on site, or you can ask election workers and they will help you as alternatively. The person that you ask to help you in person does not have to be eligible to vote. Oftentimes folks will bring a child with them to provide assistance, and that's totally fine. And that is the case for folks who need assistance due to a disability or folks who need an interpreter because they don't read or write English or are not as comfortable with that. Lydia asks, what is the information I need to put on my mail ballot to make sure it is counted? Excellent question, Lydia. Unfortunately, we had a lot of challenges with mail ballots in the primary. So we want to make sure that everyone does everything that you need to in order to get your ballot counted for this general election. I have a 5-step process. First, don't stop at the top, vote all the way down for all the Democratic candidates. Second, you're going to put your ID number, that's the last 4 digits of your social security number, and your Texas driver's license or Texas personal ID card number. If you only have one, then just put the one you have. But if you have both, we really recommend you put both of those numbers on the envelope. So this is the trick. You're going to vote your mail ballot, put it in the ballot envelope, seal that up. Then you're going to put that smaller ballot envelope inside the bigger carrier envelope before you seal the carrier envelope. So before you seal it, you're going to open up the flap and see underneath there, it's going to ask you for those ID numbers. Fill in any of those ID numbers, all of the ID numbers that they're asking for that you have, fill them in. Then underneath that, the third step is to add your phone number. And if you have one, an email address. So the elections office can get into contact with you if they have any questions or any problems with your ballot. Then you can seal up that envelope. And the fourth step, there's a big X, sign at the X. You're going to sign your ballot over that flap and then get it in the mail. Put a stamp on the ballot and get it in the mail by 7 p.m. on election night, but hopefully way before that, we want to give it plenty of time to get there. So vote now and stamp and get your ballot in the mail now, but definitely before November 1st. Don't sleep on this. James asks, can I track my mail ballot once I send it in? Yes. So this is new this year, thanks to State Representative John Busey. He sponsored a bill and really shepherded it through the House to make sure that we could, like many other states do, that you could track your application and your ballot through the process. So you can find that link at txdem.co/VBM status. That's txdem.co/VBM status. And that's a link from us, but that's just because the URL that the state gives is way too long for us to say in settings like this. So we created a short link that just takes you right there to help make it a little bit easier. So you can look at the official ballot tracker, and you'll have to enter in your name and your address and your social security, last four of your social, and your driver's license or state ID number and your address. It can be a bit wonky. If it doesn't work for you right away, don't read anything into that. Call us at 844-TX-VOTES. Again, that's 844-TX-VOTES, and we can help you with this. Our volunteers have a ton of experience helping folks with the ballot tracker and finessing its quirkiness. So if you have any problems with that ballot tracker, check with us. And that ballot tracker will tell you, we received your application on this date, it was approved on this date or rejected, and your ballot was mailed to you on this date, and then it received your ballot back on this date. And what you're really looking for at the end of that line is accepted. That means that you're good to go and they're going to count your ballot when they can. If it doesn't say accepted, it might be because technically the ballot takes a little bit. There's some processes that need to go through before they can accept it. But if it's received, then you're looking for it to be accepted. If it has been rejected because you didn't put that ID number on there, or it didn't match what they had on file, or because your signature didn't match what they have on file, then it'll tell you it'll give you instructions about what you need to do to correct that ballot. Bud asks, if I'm still in line to vote at 7 p.m., can I vote? Yes. So on election day, if you are in line at 7 o'clock, you must be allowed to vote. Even if it takes a couple more hours or something like that, if you are in line at 7, you must be allowed to vote. And now it is also true that if you are in line when your early voting location closes, they also have to let you vote. So there's no discretion, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you're in line when the poll closes, you got to be allowed to vote. Valerie asks, if I missed the registration deadline, is there anything I can still do to vote? In some cases, yes, but it's very situationally specific, depending on if you're registered somewhere else, where that is, and some other situations. So the TLDR there is give us a call at 844-TX-VOTES, and we'll work through that with you. Again, or you can chatbot us on mytexasvotes.com, DM us on Instagram or Facebook, or text us at 888-844-VOTE. And we'll be happy to help you navigate that, Valerie. All right, I think we're getting up to our last question. But before we get there, I just want to remind you all that early voting starts tomorrow on October 24th. And you can be among the first people to vote early for Beto and Mike Collier and Rochelle Garza and all of our other great candidates. So please get out and be an October voter. And you can vote at any early voting location in your county. So check those out at mytexasvotes.com. And now we'll go to our last question. I'm a college student from Texas going to school in another state. Is it too late to request an absentee ballot? Lily, it is not too late, but it is very close. So Lily, you can request an absentee ballot. You can go to txdem.co/VBM app. You can go to txdem.co/VBM app, and we'll guide you through creating that request form. You'll have to print that out. So there should still be a computer. It's been a while since I've been on a college campus, but you should be able to find a computer lab with a printer. You can print out that application once you complete it. Fill in a couple more details that we didn't ask you for because on the pre-printed version. Sign it and get it in the mail right away. Honestly, at this point, because it's going to have to travel to Texas and it has to arrive at your elections office by Friday, I would say if you can, if it's available to you, try to send it via USPS overnight delivery, or at least priority, which guarantees 2 to 3 day delivery, or UPS or FedEx overnight. That unfortunately will probably cost you about $25 or $30 at this point. But if there's any way that you can do it in one of those express mechanisms to make sure that it gets there earlier this week, that's going to be our best bet to make sure that you're able to vote. Again, if you have any questions or problems or want someone to talk you through that, you can call 844-TX-VOTES and find us at mytexasvotes.com. We want to help every single eligible Texan cast a ballot that's going to count. So please do not hesitate to reach out to us. Let us know what you need. Let us know your questions, and we will make sure that you are able to vote if you are eligible. It is it is what makes us the most excited now that we head into the voting period. Our voter protection team is so happy to help everybody and wants to make sure that you're able to have your voice heard and vote for our awesome candidates. So hit us up, and thank you so much for joining us for this AMA. Have a good rest of your weekend. Bye.